YouTube, welcome back. Pass the prop here. We're back for NBA and MLB today. We got double action, double barrel in today. Coming at you guys for some free plays. Joined as always by my guy Stu. What's good, man?
Pretty good. It's been a chill week for me. I mean, I've had one major day of betting. I went 5-2. It was nice, and I have not bet pretty much any other day this week. So I don't know. I've been, I got some family in the area, so I've been outside a little bit more than normal. So it's good to come back, win some bets, and then go back to it. It's a good feeling right now. Obviously, a ton of sports going on. March Madness was a blast last night. Both of those games were fantastic. As someone that bet Bama multiple times live, I was fired up. That was such a fun game. And then even the late game had a good ending as well. So for me, great. A bunch of sports going on. My Nats got crushed opening day as expected. Didn't make any money there, unfortunately. But beyond that, very good day. Excited to get into some baseball. I got baseball bets. I got college basketball bets. I got NBA bets. I got everything right now. So I'm super excited. And as always, if you got any questions for any sport, really, drop them in the comments. That's why we're here. Answer those questions. You just drop them in and we'll find the time to get it in there.
Yes, sir. Yeah. The games last night were obviously awesome. As a guy who was had Bama winning that game against North Carolina, feeling pretty good. In my brackets, I was actually feeling pretty good, even though my champion decided to lose. I had Zona winning the whole thing, and I don't know why I do it to myself. Tommy Lloyd is an absolute fraudulent coach. It's my own fault. That was just horrible to watch. That defense was Swiss cheese. I think that me, Stu, and three of you guys in the chat right now could put up points on those bums because Caleb Love is probably the worst player in college basketball. So
some of those shots were crazy. Oh my god, the one-footed floater with like 6 seconds left from three on the shot clock. Oh boy, there were some crazy shots in that game, bro.
And it was just so bad. Like it was just like, dude, you're like a 19th year senior, dude. What are we doing here?
Oh really?
How are you that dumb?
Yeah, so it looks like AAU basketball. It really does. Like number one. I figured he was young. I didn't know he was like a experienced.
Oh no, dude, he won the title with North Carolina.
Yeah. I remember North
Carolina.
He
was a junior, I'm pretty sure, at that point. So
wow.
He was old as hell and still stupid. So my God, dude, it was awful.
Rough combination. Yeah.
Yeah, stupid people doing stupid things, right? I guess. It was awful, man. I was just like, oh, man. But I digress. I was happy I got Bama. Have Illinois as one of my 3 teams that I bought in my big pot money pool spot. I had Illinois for a cheap price. Feeling pretty good about that. I think they're going to give them a run for their fucking money, man. I know everybody thinks that UConn is just invincible and just going to run everybody out of town, but dude, I don't know if I want to get in front of the buzzsaw that is Terrence Shannon at all. That dude is an absolute wizard right now.
That's going to be a scary one, man. I don't know. Like for me, UConn, like you just wish someone would have gave him a good fight at least, right? When you watch a team like buzzsaw everyone else, it's very scary to go up against them after, But I don't know. SDSU obviously has no offense. I was hoping, they'd be able to stay close, but obviously not. I didn't bet them, but I did consider it just because – when a team has an elite defense, you always kind of want to give them a shot at like a double-digit spread, right? But as we can see, they cannot score. So I don't know. That game scares me because what happens if they take out Shannon, right? They got a lot of good defensive players. Like who steps up? That's they got guys. Don't get me wrong, but I'm excited to watch it. I just don't have an opinion whatsoever.
Yeah, no, I'm obviously a fan of Domask, being a Wisconsin guy. I know his brother. Played with his brother for a little while. He's the youngest one of those. So that's cool to see him absolutely showing out there. Coleman Hawkins been there forever. He's showing out. He's showing out now. He used to suck, dude. He used to be so bad, but I guess 4 or 5 years in college will get you a little bit better. Shout out Underwood, man. Good coach. And that was a really fun game to watch, taking down Iowa State there. Yeah, I'm excited for that game. I'm hoping Illinois wins, man. I'm pulling for them. Obviously, you want the madness to continue with all dogs outside of UConn winning yesterday, so makes it. I know everybody was getting mad because there was no, upsets. I'm like, well, it's because all the shitty teams won the first games, and now you're going to put good teams against good teams, and you're going to start to see what happens. So it was fun to watch.
100%. I'm sure we get a better day today as well. So I'm fired up. I got, what's his name? I got the Ziegler points on Tennessee so far. Zakai. There we go. I don't know these names very well, but I got that one heavy tonight. So I'm excited for that. We'll see what happens. I got to bet Edie in some way, right? I saw his lines are pretty insane, but what do you have, like a 20-point double-double in the first half last week? So I don't know. There's a lot of time, but we can obviously stick into, we're doing NBA and MLB today on the show, so we can get into that if you'd like.
Yes, sir. We'll I'll let it kick over to you. I have absolutely no basketball and will not be looking at basketball. Stu, what are the games catching your eye here on this slate as you go through it?
For me, like Lakers Pacers has got to be the game of the night, right? I mean, we talk about two teams, some high pace, some stars. Anthony Davis is the biggest question mark, obviously. I still questionable tag right there, but I think that's going to be a very fun game no matter what. As you know, Lakers, every game matters for the playoffs for them. Rest of the season. As for like the toilet bowl, Washington and the Pistons. I was supposed to go to earlier, but I had some, stuff come up today where I probably won't go to that. But who doesn't love an absolute shit show like that, right? Cade's getting rolled out before every game starts, so maybe maybe they play, maybe not. But I think we could get a lot of good like backups and stuff like that in that game as well. So it's got to be like for all serious purposes that Lakers Pacers game though.
Yeah, I'll never argue a Pacers game, man. Those games are always fun to watch, always an entertaining game. So definitely don't mind watching those guys play. Lakers just been playing at unreal pace right now too as well. So makes all of their games pretty fun as well. So
I'm
sure they'll be willing to be a willing participant in a game like that. So I guess I can do mine. I can talk about mine doing the same thing just on the MLB side. There's so many close spreads, dude. I think I'm going to go Yankees Astros just because of my amount of exposure to the Astros in all my best ball throughout. I've been watching a lot of them. Have a loaded Astros lineup. I have Tucker, Yanni or Diaz, and one other Astro too throughout my year-long lineup. So I'm pretty heavily invested in this team. I think it's going to be interesting because everybody's got to know, is Carlos Rodon washed? Is he washed? We don't know. Last year he was so bad. Is that how he's going to be always now? It's just like it's kind of up in the air there. So I want to see another year sample size here, see if we can kind of figure out if that question is true or not. But I definitely want to watch that game. Javier on the bump against him. Pretty entertaining pitchers to watch too. It could either be the outcomes have a very, very crazy amount of different spots they can go, right? We could see a 10K game from both guys. We could see both guys give up 5 bombs, right? That's what makes baseball fun. And this is a matchup that I think it could expose both of those.
Yeah, and I actually do have a lot of Christian Javier in best ball myself. He's actually one of my highest owned pitchers, which is a little unfortunate because I remember John came on here and was not a fan. I wanted to get into the weeds with it, but we were an hour and 15 in. I wasn't going to make that go another 20 minutes. But it's a little what we talked about in believing in the organization ability to kind of get a guy back on track, which they've been able to do so well. So I'll definitely be tapped into that game. For me, too, I really like the Giants-Padres later with Harrison on the bump. That was someone that was fun for me to watch at the end of last year. I want to get an eye on, some of the younger guys as well. Puck over in the Marlins now going back into the starting rotation rather than a reliever. I think you get some very valuable information in some of these early starts, So anytime there's a young starter out there or a new starter, Puck is not young. He's just converted, obviously, from the closer reliever role to the rotation. I think something like that will be another important game to watch tonight. Yeah,
he's never started, ever. He's never done it. So
Florida, I believe, college, right? And I think one or
he's
twice.
I don't think he's had. I looked at his thing. It's 142 appearances in big league games. I think it might have been one that he did.
Yeah, maybe.
So, so it'll be interesting. Obviously, my Brewers are the early game. Tough going a full day of opening day with no Brewer game. That was rough.
Yeah.
But I think we have a good slate. I will let you take it away with NBA to start us off here. We got 15 live viewers. I'm going to keep track of this whole show now. See if you guys are hitting that like button. We got 12, 13 you guys popping in and out here. hit that like button for us. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Stu's about to drop our first play of the day, starting us off with an NBA spot.
Sounds good. We're going to my favorite spot of the day. We're on Tyrese Halliburton, 15 points. McBride steal, that is -130. McBride steal, we got it for maybe another day. Maybe one more. I didn't even think we were going to have it for today. The guy plays 45 minutes, no matter what. I want that every single time I can get that. For a guy that is a defensive-minded guard that was trained in that West Virginia system, right, where you're a menace down there, to get that kind of guy who's now in the Tibbs system, which is the same kind of energy. We need that, 24/7 defense. To get a guy like that playing 45 minutes to me is, oh my God. I played every single day that McBride has been in this rotation. I will keep doing that. So for me, that's one of my favorite parlay pieces. I should have just played it with everything. It's one of those where it's that good. And I was only playing it with, one or two other plays right here. And for me, I love Halliburton points in this one, but I always want to be able to buy down a couple with a guy that the volume is never going to be so high. Because I know what you're thinking. You look at this, you go, Halliburton just scored 12 against the Lakers when there were 300 total points in that game, right? Why would I be going back to it? But for me, that was a game where Pascal Siakam took a season-high 29 shot attempts, right? I have a very hard time seeing one Siakam be that efficient once again, especially with a rested Anthony Davis hopefully coming back, right, to shut down that paint. That's where a guy like Siakam does a lot of his work. But once again, even assuming Siakam does have a good game, we're not going to be talking 30 field goal attempts, right? And Halliburton came up just short at 12 points in that one. That was when he was in the dumps a little bit, but he's been playing a little bit better over these last couple games. It looked like his mojo, might be a little, maybe the confidence might be a little affected, but he looks good and he looks more confident. And to me, this is the perfect chance to really have a pop-off game because once, like you mentioned earlier, the Lakers play at an extremely fast pace, right? This is a team that is running right now, and there's really no guard defense, right? Look who's out there, right? D'Lo, Austin Reeves. Reeves at least gives effort, but these are not scary defensive players whatsoever. And a guy like Halliburton who dominates in transition, he gets most of his points as either transition, as the pick and roll ball handler, or a spot up shooter. And those are really three areas that I want to target the Lakers. So I was thinking about just playing, 18 points or whatever the full number, but to be able to buy down and get a couple extra points right here on a guy that, to be honest, isn't the highest volume shooter in the world. He's a little bit more efficient than anything. I think for me, I love that deal, and I love adding McBride in here. So playing this -130 for 1 unit, my favorite spot of the day so far.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, you can't go wrong with a guy playing that many minutes just trying to get one steal. Especially when you're a guy that is probably not coming off. And he plays at a high energy even throughout, right? You see a lot of those guys kind of slow down throughout the game, when you start getting into those 30 straight minutes, right? But him and Josh Hart are just, out there cooking, man. They're out there moving and keeping it rolling. So definitely a spot that I think is very well exploited. You're betting Alex Caruso because he does the same thing in 30 minutes.
Yeah. 100%. And once again, Alex Caruso's -700 today, and McBride is not. So McBride maybe should be in that range. We're lucky he hasn't had like a 4-steal game because once they do that, the books really catch up, But he was hunting some buckets at the end of that one. So no need. This will be a close one, actually, though, finally.
Yeah, and it's lucky because he doesn't really do anything offensively outside of just shoot the threes, so he doesn't have to run around. Just sit there, be ready to shoot.
Yep.
Don't even have to dribble.
Let Brunson go to work. That's what he's there for. You don't need this guy to dribble. A good shooting guard, backup point guard.
All right, let me go to my first play, and I'm going to go through one of my combos. I'm still disgusted by last night's loss that I had with the Framber Valdez one, where relief pitcher comes in middle of the inning and walks in his last run when he got 2 outs, bases loaded, walks the guy on 4 pitches. So upset about that one, but I'm going to go to Nick Pivetta today. I'm going to roll with Nick Pivetta. I'm going to roll with under 4.5 hits. It's a spot that when I looked at it, I'm like, wow, that seems really low. And it was at -160. And I'm like, man, why is that so low? Then I realized Nick Pivetta is fucking good. He is. Yeah. I have a lot of exposure to Nick Pivetta. And when I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, dude, this dude doesn't give up any hits. Yes, when he does give up contact, it gets hit hard, right? He's got a very 44%, 45%, not good, right? A hard hit rate of that high is not good. We don't want that. But he doesn't give up too much contact. That's the thing. Against lefties last year, he had a 5.22 FIP, right? Not good. But his xFIP was 3.3. that means we're going to start seeing regression positively here, right? We should see very good positive regression in this spot from these guys. And especially in this spot too, you're playing in a nice park upgrade for you, or at least a pitcher park upgrade, where you get to work in a park where it's going to be cold as hell, probably in Seattle tonight, late night game as well. So shouldn't see the ball carry as much. Obviously going to keep that ball in the yard because he does have a little bit of power issues there. But on the road last year, he was phenomenal, actually better on the road with a 3.32 xFIP. 33% K rate. Like, this dude has wipeout stuff. I don't expect him to have a super long leash. So I also like that for this reason as well, for the 4.5 hits there. You look at last year, dude he gave up one outing with more than 4.5 hits. That was against Tampa Bay. The other 6 the end of the year, all of them under, all of them 2. We have like multiple with 2, and he's going 7 innings in these spots. That's against the Orioles, right? That's against the Yankees. That's against Toronto. Like, this dude's picked it up towards the end of the year, and I expect it to keep going, especially after you see him in spring training just wiping people out. That breaking ball is phenomenal. One of the best pitches in baseball, to be honest, with this swing and miss rate. His whiff rate on that is 44% last year, to go along with a 38% on the cutter as well. So Quantrill, I don't really need to tell you too much. I think he's going to get rocked. And I took Freeland no win last night. I'm going to keep going with these Rocky guys not to get wins, because even if they are winning when they leave, that bullpen is cheap. So sign me up here for Pivetta to get the job done and just watch Quantrill get lit to oblivion today.
Yeah, I love these combinations. I mean, I really do. And I think obviously Pivetta 4.5 is a smart way to play it. I forgot how much he shoved at the end of last year until we talked about it a little in the offseason. And I went back and I was like, holy shit, he really did like absolutely turn up. It kind of didn't matter in the grand scheme of things because they were a little more out of it. And I think that maybe hid just how good he was, right? Because he really was killing it, like you said. And another important thing too to think about this time of year is everyone is always like, oh, he got pulled early. That kills my bet. Well, that's kind of perfect for us here, right? When you're betting the unders, you actually get the advantage of that. So definitely like this. You guys know it's early in the season. The leashes are shorter than expected. There are secret pitch counts that we don't know about sometimes. All that kind of stuff can come into effect. And it's good to get the positive end of it when you're betting unders.
Yeah, no, and thing is he could go deeper in this game, but I mean, deeper I would assume would be like 80 pitches, right? Like, it's not going to be like that full 100, right? I mean, 80 I would be very happy with. So loving Pivetta tonight against that Seattle spot, and Cal Quantrill going into the Arizona, who just wanted to light up everybody last night. So they obviously look very, very good. So Stu, we are on to plays number 2 2 for each of us. Got 20 of you guys in the chat here. Hit that like button. Let's take a look here. We have a question here from 2999. Do you like Dodgers team total? I don't mind it. I think it's 5.5 now. So it keeps going up. I wish I would get a 4.5 there. I would just take them. I just want to take them with Bobby Miller. I would probably just take some bet with Bobby Miller probably before I would take a team total, like first half or first 5 minus half, right? The run line on there. I don't know if I want to take that team. I feel like 5.5, especially if this game is close at all. Zach Thompson has shown flashes as well. So definitely I think I would rather play Dodgers in a different way than the team total there.
Well, I mean, it's funny to say, I almost like them more with their opening day pitcher yesterday. At least we know what Mikolas is going to do. He's going to put it up over the plate and try to make sure you don't hit it very hard, right? But a team like the Dodgers, they hit the ball hard, right? So that one was almost a more guaranteed matchup. But yeah, I agree. I like the first 5 in this one. Miller should just absolutely kill this year. Absolutely love that guy. He's gonna shove. So I'm with you there. I like the first 5. And I like, Freddie Freeman. I think I'll be in my Discord posting about it. His hits, runs, RBIs is only 1.5 right now. It's minus 140. So you got to pay a little bit of juice. But once again, these guys like Freeman, Acuna, These guys weren't even 1.5 last year, right? Like at the end of the year, it wasn't even an option, let alone at playable juice in that -135, -140 range. So for me, I agree. I like, something like the first 5 where you get a little bit of, the Bobby Miller, but I would also just go right to Freeman. And that's what I'm going to do, is just take his hits, runs, RBIs. Because that way you're benefiting from the team offense and you're taking away the back half of the lineup that you don't care that much about.
Yes, sir. Yeah, do not mind that logic at all. I like that. Like I said, I like the first 5. If I'm going to roll anything there, I'm sure it would be like 2.5, I would assume, right? 2.5 would be my guess for their
juiced if it is. Yeah.
So maybe I would roll with that there. But all right, Stu, we got our second round of plays. Let's get to it. That was your other one. Here we go.
Yeah, and this one's half unit, by the way. This one's half unit. If you could add that to the thing real quick. I'm going Denny Avia over 30.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Like I said earlier, this is the toilet bowl, right? This is the Pistons and the Wizards. These are two of the worst teams in basketball. I mean, the two worst teams in basketball facing off right here. So the good news is that the blowout risk is a lot reduced, right? And I don't know if you guys have been paying attention. The Wizards are playing pretty good ball right now. I don't know why. I don't know what sparked their interest with a week left in the season. Maybe they just want to end well so everyone remembers them in a positive light. But the boys are fighting right now. It's leading to more close games. And since Denny's coming back, he's playing 38 minutes a game, right? So this is a guy that is barely coming off the court, Kuzma or not, right? Kuzma should suit up tonight, but as we've seen, Kuzma's interested at this point in the season in shot chucking. He's not too much interested in getting down in the dirt, rebounding, playmaking, anything like that. And which, if you know about the Wizards, really one of the only things that's been successful this year is Denny as a secondary playmaker. He's leading the team down in transition, right? He's grabbing those rebounds and going, right? There's no kick out to Tyus. Tyus is out right now. So it's just Jordan Poole as the point guard. And while we like Jordan Poole as the point guard, there needs to be a secondary ball handler. There needs to be someone to distribute, and there needs to be someone to lead them in transition. And for me, this is the perfect matchup. The Pistons suck in transition. They foul a shit ton, and Denny's going to be second on this team in drives. This is the most foul-heavy team in the league. Poole's going to drive a lot, number one, but Denny's going to be second on the team in drives. So he scores a lot of his points in the paint. He's going to get down there. And I feel like I don't even need to talk about the rebounds, right? I like the point upside. I like the assist upside. But this is a guy that is regularly going over that 13 rebound mark. And now, no Rashawn Holmes. He is out for this game already. For me, it just seems like a mess. Bagley's going to be in there. Bagley's been pretty bad rebounder since he's come over. He immediately shot out with a couple good games and then has really kind of been limited. And my theory on that isn't that he's a bad rebounder. It's that they want Denny getting those rebounds, or another guard preferably, and running in transition. Kispert. Let's get these guys some ball handling minutes. Let's let them control the tempo a little bit more. And those are the kind of things that are very important to target this time of year. So I don't love playing Denny at a number this high. It's a fair number. It's a Pistons number, but I think this is the perfect matchup for him to destroy. It's transition, free throws, easy buckets in the mid-range, and then he's going to distribute, and obviously the rebound should be absolutely killer against a terrible Pistons team. So should be a good game, should be a close one. Definitely think Denny has another impressive outing tonight.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Do not mind playing Denny at all, ever. I love playing Denny. Been on rebounds, assists, on his points, rebounds, pretty much everything you could possibly want here. So I'm in, and I don't even have to look at the slate. I can just bet on him, and I'm good with it. So, guys, hit that like button. 25 you guys in here. I'm seeing only 6 likes on there. Make sure you guys pop over there and hit that like button for us. Helps us out a ton here. Let's take a look. I saw a question in here. Joseph, how do you like Willy Adames versus Quintana, who hasn't looked great in his last 2 outings? I don't look at preseason much. Like that doesn't mean much to me. A lot of these guys, these older dudes like this that are going in these spring train, they're going out there trying to like work on stuff. They're not like he knows he's not having to worry about getting cut. You know what I mean? Like this boy's already got paid, right? Like he's on the team. He knows what he's doing. That's why I don't look at the older pitchers much on what they did there, right? Those ones don't mean as much. It's the younger guys that I do care about because they're fighting for a spot and they're like, playing it like a real game. Quintana might have just been like, oh, I'm going to try doing my cutter on the outside, maybe working more backdoor here, right? It is something that you need in-game reps with. So just as a guy who's had a lot of pitchers that I've worked with and gone through like that, you can't really look at it like that, especially when Adames. I don't look at Adames hitting lefties anyway. The dude's not good against lefties. Strikes out so much. So if I'm going to play anything with Adames, I would probably take his RBI. That would be the only thing I would take with Adames today. I would not want to take a hit. The dude does not have a good batting average. He's going to be like 220 to 230 all year. So I would rather just play RBI to give me a chance. If he does hit a homer, I get at least that. But I don't want to play him in any other way.
Yeah, I mean, I want to fade Quintana whenever possible. Not that he's like a bad pitcher. It's just like, he's not someone we're necessarily scared of. I guess I shouldn't say fade whenever possible, but he's just not a scary pitcher. My thing with a guy like Adames is he's never a hit guy for me. It's always either a total bases at heavy plus money, a double, or a homer. I want to because like he's one of those guys, when he hits it hard. He just doesn't hit it that often, right? So anytime there's a guy like that, I normally want to go for the plus money and go for the higher, just like you said with the RBI. So that's what I would say as well. But do you have any plays in that game? I'm curious. I guess it just started like literally right now, so I guess it doesn't matter. But
yeah, I took the Brewers first 5. That's all I took.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm gonna tune in once we get off of here. I want to see your guy DL Hall, him start as well from the Orioles. I want to see that.
What do you mean?
Not today, but I want to see him pitch.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure Freddie's still on today.
No, yeah, of course. I meant I'm waiting for.
Yeah. He'll be. Yeah, I'm excited to see him throw as well. I'm curious to see if that paid off. Obviously, Corbin shoved yesterday, which you kind of expect in that spot. So, all right, on to I guess Fire Sports bringing up Warriors double result. Do you want to bet on the Warriors tonight, Stu?
No, not really. I mean, even like I know the game's important to them, but even it's the Hornets, I still don't care. No. I mean, I just don't want to bet the Warriors right now. I really don't. Like, what happens? They come out snoozing in the first half, and then they still come back and win. Like, I get they're going to be fired up. I get all the narrative. Draymond keeps getting ejected. They must be pissed off at him. But just betting the Warriors right now would leave a bad taste in my mouth, personally. I think they're probably better parlays, especially if you're in the MLB. Look at the Luis Arias under 1.5K, something like that, which has just been a slam dunk.
Yeah, okay. That works. Yeah, I don't want to touch the Warriors with a 10-foot pole, man.
Me neither. And Charlotte's bad, but they're slow. And slow can make it ugly. I could see a close first half at least, So I'm just gonna pass on them in general. I actually like the Hornets probably ATS tonight, to be honest.
I absolutely zero interest in the Warriors at all. So all right, my last play. I'm going to go with Marlins. Race to 4. This is going to be under game props, guys. It's going to be a spot that you're going to want to kind of dig around there. It's not going to be in the same, like the regular spots that you guys are looking at all your other plays. There's a little different type of play. So obviously, first team to 4 will win this bet. Marlins are plus 120. You go on the other side, Pirates are plus 130, seeing as their team totals are pretty low today. So, I actually really like this play at plus money. I get it because they only have a 4.5 team total. But man, I'm taking AJ Puck over Martin Perez in this spot. But also, what I really like is this bullpen. Both sides are going to be depleted. You just played a very, very long game. You're not going to see many of these guys throw back to back, right? We saw a couple guys really struggle yesterday on the Marlins side. Your Nardi guy, he's probably not throwing today. Bender's probably not throwing today. So I think they're going to leave Puck out there for a little longer. And I think that actually helps, right? And if I have Martin Perez fighting in to go an extra inning, I'm going to take that, right? Looking at the numbers, even I'm looking at last year's numbers because that's really the only thing you can go off of. The Marlins were the number 3 team in batting average at home last year. They're getting this home spot there. Obviously, it's a very pitcher-friendly park. So that obviously helps there as well. But they were pretty good in the first 5 at home, too. First 5 money line, they were 33, 24, and 12 to the money line at home last year. Just means they do get out to pretty decent starts at home, which obviously we're looking forward to seeing that. And also, if this game stays close, right, 2-2, and you got Perez out there and we're going into that third time through, Martin Perez is terrible. Absolutely terrible. When we get through the order that second, third time, right? He really, really, really struggles. It's because he has no swing and miss stuff. He really doesn't. I don't really even know how he's still in the league. The dude doesn't have swing and miss stuff. He doesn't get like a super high percentage of ground balls. Like I don't understand how this dude still finds his way into the league, to be honest. But let's take a look here. This will be the numbers that we're looking at. So second time through the order, he's got a 5.01 ERA with a 4.35 slugging. Third time through the order, 3.04 batting average allowed, 4.87 slug. He has a 5.2 xFIP to righties last year. I mean, what more you want? This dude is going to struggle today, and obviously you're going to get Josh Bell from the right side where he has more power. You got Brian De La Cruz with a ton of power. Jake Berger crushes lefties. I'm pretty sure they have Tim Anderson on that team now who crushes lefties. So a lot of guys there who I wanna back against left-handed pitching. And I do want to fade Martin Perez, especially in this early spot where they might need him to go a little bit deeper. So if that happens and we get that third time through the order, sign me up there. I'm definitely in on rolling with the Marlins to start out hot and get to that bullpen.
Yeah, I agree. No, I definitely like the spot. The Marlins were one of the first, spots that popped up too, because the same as you said, like getting a Perez on day 2 feels like a gift, and getting it at minus 125 in the full game is nice. But obviously, now this you're getting plus money for the earlier outcome right here, and Puck has the unknown, but I mean, he was fantastic in spring training, and obviously you mentioned caring about certain cases. This is a guy that was, auditioning for a job for the rest of the season. Like you said, really no professional starts. This was his chance to kind of prove what he had as a starter. He added 3 pitches, or I guess brought back a couple pitches to his repertoire, and they were looking very fire. I believe his slider had the 30% swinging strike in the preseason, which was very nice to see because that's a relatively newer addition for righties. So I love Puck. I like the Marlins in this one. I'm going to bet Berger homer. I don't like homers in this ballpark, obviously, but I still love Berger against a lefty. And you mentioned it. There's multiple lefties in this one that can get the job done. So definitely like this play a lot. I'm surprised we're getting these nice odds right here, but I'm fully on board.
Yeah, it's just because it's a 3-way. So if no one gets there, they give
true.
you the plus 300 or whatever. So it's just like soccer. That's why you get the better odds, just because they do have a 3-way of winning it there. So, yeah, I really like that spot. We got through a quick show here today. We still got 25 in there, only 10 likes, guys. Let's get that up to 15 at least before we get going here. Sergio in the chat here. Do you like an over or under in any MLB game? Let me take a look. For a total, I think if I want to roll a total, I don't mind rolling the Braves over, even though you're getting Zach Wheeler and you're getting Strider. I don't mind that over. It's probably a spot I will bet. Minus 115 on the straight flat 7 there. I think it's a good price. Obviously, you're getting guys that are very, very good. But anytime I can get a 7 with the Braves lineup in the game, and I get to deal with the Phillies bullpen in there, I don't mind the full game over there at 7. And Strider will strike out 90% of these dudes, but has had power issues. So definitely think that I would rather go there just because I think they're getting a big tax on those 2 names, that you're going to be kind of having to you get a nice price on it.
Yeah, I agree. It's just obviously scary, like you said, with the high pitchers. What about Yankees, Astros first 5 with how volatile both of those starters are?
That's why I don't want to do it.
But I guess my thing is either those starters could strike out 8 guys and either of them could give it up by themselves. You know what I mean? With the home run power that both of them have allowed at times, that's just my thing of either one of them could blow up, in my opinion. So
yeah, but I mean, if you go first 5, right? You would need one of them to give up 5 runs.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But these are the offenses that would do it. Am I wrong? Come on.
I don't trust the Yankees to really do anything.
Well,
I think the Yankees offense sucks.
Well, the very front of that lineup can do some damage, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't.
That's
those are the
game
I don't want to bet.
I'm looking at all these totals, and I'm not seeing a lot I like, to be honest. That's the closest. I like more first 5 stuff,
Well, that Yankees game, it's just you're better off doing what we do with ladders. You're better off doing the alternate totals. I would not want to touch this game on a straight line. They're giving you minus 145 on the first 5 over 4.5. That is too much for me to pay. First off. Second off, again, you could have one of those guys blow up, but it's both these pitchers like have proven they are good. You know what I mean? So it's like if I'm going to go with it, I'm going one of them to get blown up, and we just take like 7.5 first 5. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like 1.5 under. Like, you know, I think both guys could shove. I think both guys could get blown up, and I think few and far between. I don't think either guy goes like 6 innings, 2 runs. I don't see either one of those guys doing it.
Yeah.
I see very much polar opposites on what's going to happen there.
That's very fair. Yeah, and I think it lines up with a lot of what we say. You know, if you see a high variance outcome, go for that high upside. You know, go for that plus money. That's obviously the goal in some of these crazy cases.
Yeah, no, it's just, those guys are so hard to bet. Those guys are. I always never want to have my money on Rodon right now. I used to love having my money on Carlos Rodon, and then dude just decided to fall off a fucking cliff. So. Let's see. Anything else in this chat here? Joseph talking about puck strikeouts, Marlins first 5. Yeah, I don't mind the first 5 money line. Curious what that line is at this point, because I feel like everybody is betting AJ Puck today.
Dude, it's crazy.
Everybody's betting AJ Puck today, so that's why I don't want to bet on him. I just want to bet on. Like I could see him just making contact, you know? Yeah,
I had the write-up ready to go, but the way I looked at it, I think 5.5 on an unknown is a good play at plus money. I think it's a really good play. But at minus 125, I don't really think it's a great play. Now it's minus 180. I definitely don't think it's a good play, it's interesting. A lot of sports aren't necessarily as like that, but people I feel like I like it a lot. I think it's a good spot, but at plus money, right? When they account for it, now you're suddenly betting like 250 to win, 175 or 150. It gets a little bit brutal when you're paying that heavy juice. So I don't know. I don't love it anymore, but I did last night, at that good number. So I just a heads up, the late night plays are probably coming back, because you got to do what you got to do out here, and people are. Everyone's got to eat, and I'm not going to wait anymore. So be ready for some late night plays. Turn those notifications on. I'm coming out firing, baby. Let's go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Stu, you got anything else? Actually, let's do our recap first, and then if you have a long shot, I'll let you get to that.
Sounds good. We got Tyrese Halliburton, 15 points plus a Miles McBride steal. That's minus 130 right now. Should be on all books, DraftKings, where I got it. Denny Advia over 30.5 PRA, minus 115, half unit over on FanDuel.
Beautiful. And I'll be on Marlins race to 4 at plus 120, as well as Nick Pivetta under 4.5 hits with Kyle Quantrill to continue to get lit up at minus 125. Stewie, do you have a long shot today? I don't have one on my end yet, but just checking in and see if you have one here.
Oh, well, I had puck strikeouts. They killed that, so that's gone. Dude, oh my God. I just looked at the price. Guess what Jalen Duren is for 16 rebounds. Guess. Just
against the Wizards?
Yeah.
Plus 190.
It's plus 250 for 16 rebounds, dude. 15 is 180. That's so crazy, man. I thought I'd at least get 300. I thought maybe I could sneak over 300, but even 18 rebounds is 475. That's a terrible price. That's what I was hoping for, guys. But unfortunately, that's kind of killed, which makes sense with Duren kind of being injured. But I bet Berger home run earlier. If I don't know if people really, I'm just kind of firing off some, fun bets. So I'm not going to put that as an official. So I guess I don't really have anything right now since Duren and Puck both crushed my CLV dreams, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, there's not. I don't like betting these MLB ones too until I get the lineups, and we got to kind of wait a little bit. That's why Wednesday shows are usually a little bit earlier on Pass the Prop Wednesdays when we have MLB, just because, the game starts so early. So we got to get those bets in beforehand. But Stu, I guess you got anything else for the people? We still got 30 of you guys in here. Hit that like button. Let's see, we're at 13. We want to get to 15 before we get out of here. So 25 you guys in here. Hit that like button quick.
Yeah, I thought this was a really good show. I was fired up. This is the first time in 3 years I've ever had coffee on the show. I never, ever drink coffee. So I got some energy going. I'm fired up, ready to go. Should be plenty more plays. Not plenty more. Should be more plays for the rest of the day. Make sure to go follow on Twitter. Like I said, out and about a little bit right now. So plays will be a little bit fewer and far between, a little bit focused in like one big tweet. But a lot of shit going on right now. If you want all of it, follow me in Discord as well. That's It's free. It's dope. There are a lot of smart people that are in the chat here, as you saw from the comments earlier. And we'd love to have you, right? A lot of smart people in there. I share like my overnight stuff, stuff like that. So definitely a good place to be. Excited to hopefully keep the winners going for the rest of the day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Excited. Obviously, no YouTube play of the day today. I don't think I would have had time to do that. Plus, this would not have worked. But I'll probably post a college basketball play, so make sure you're on the lookout for that. We'll be ready to go there. So, yeah, it's an exciting time. Exciting time. Obviously, bets galore this week, and it's going to be a fun one. So, thank you guys. Have a happy Easter. I know that's this weekend, so have a happy Easter with you and your family, and we will be back on Monday. Make sure you guys are following on Twitter so you know if we do go earlier on some of these shows, just because, when we do some of these shows, it's kind of – if we say, oh, we're going to do MLB, but the game started at like noon, we got to get up early and get it on here. So just make sure you follow and even subscribe to the channel, just because even if you don't follow on Twitter, you're not able to, and you see the notification that we're going live, we're there. So thank you guys. Best of luck. And hopefully we get a couple winners here tonight. Let's get a sweep and keep it going. So have a good one, guys. Happy Easter.